O kurczę. Kurde, człowieku. Przed takiego Trabanta się wpychasz. Życie ci niemiłe. Welcome everybody on Car Rambler channel. Today I was supposed to show you another car, but it didn't work out, so I took an emergency exit and took this Trabant 1.1 for a spin. So let's get started. So a Trabant is a nice example of nostalgia. What is nostalgia doing with the prices of the cars, and why some of the cars get a very known classics and some of them not. Nostalgia, or a sentiment you can call it, this is something that you won't be able to measure. It's something that is hard to understand, really. Why is it happening? Why is this phenomenon ongoing all the time? But on Trabant's example, you must remember, or maybe you don't know about it, but Eastern Germany, where the cars were produced, was in a very specific situation. I mean the citizens of Eastern Germany, sorry, because their country stopped existing. So after the Germany reunited, the Western Germany, the Federal Republic of Germany, just took the part where the eastern parts of the country were, and it became one country. But it wasn't a unification. It was just that the Eastern Germany was transformed to Western Germany, and based on that, the nostalgia for old times appeared very quickly. Eastern Germans realized that few years after they reunited with the Western Germany, the country is not existing. The factories that they were working in stopped existing or were changed to Western company parts. But in the main part of that, the main part of them just disappeared. And so the nostalgia appeared very fast. And in 1995, so 4 years after Trabant's production was stopped, there was someone found many Trabants, new ones, factory new Trabants, in Turkey, because there was a Turkish company that wanted to have and sell Trabants, and they never got them because the company went bankrupt during the cars were in transport. So the cars were stored by the government in the open air, And 4 years after production ended, 1995, some German company brought the cars back home to Zwickau, where the Trabant factory was, and they decided to sell the car as a new one, and they called that the last 444 car Trabants, the series. So it was they claimed that there were 444 cars. It didn't sell well because the price was relatively hoch. Hoch is German word for high. And it didn't work out. They sold few of the cars for 20,000 German mark, and after that it didn't go well, so the Trabant was offered in a supermarket chain company. So you were able to buy your milk, cornflakes, and then a Trabant in addition. And over there the price dropped to 1,000. So it didn't work out that good. But yeah, you can see how strong the sentiment was, that 4 years after the production ended, someone tried to sell the cars again. This is something that wouldn't be possible, for example, here in Poland. I imagine 1990, where we stopped producing the Fiat 125. You can see a movie about it with it on my channel. So I can imagine that this would not be possible in Poland 5 years after the cars were not produced anymore, that they will try to resell them, because they were not good cars, to be honest. So you might be asking if why did none of the Eastern car manufacturers survive? I think there were, let's say, two reasons. One of them is that Western Germany companies and the government and so on, they didn't want to have this car makers. In West Germany there were enough cars produced, so selling them simply to Eastern Germany citizens was easier, and I think it was one of the reasons. Second is that if you think about this car, it was redesigned, so underneath the car we have a new frame that was supposed to carry the new engine. We have new brakes. I turned this and I don't know how to okay, sorry. And so we have a new engine, new brakes, new suspension. We have this front part of the car underneath is new, so they've done pretty much with it. But of course we have a new engine from Volkswagen Polo, and it didn't work because if you see, there is on YouTube there is a movie where they show the factory of Trabant, how the cars are produced in the late 80s, and this was such a the conditions over there were so bad that I wouldn't wish anyone to work in such conditions. For example, you could see people painting the cars, spraying the cars, having only shorts, t-shirts and flip-flops on. No masks, no gloves, no glasses, nothing. So you can also see people working with heavy machinery, and you can see that it was very dangerous to use those machines, that it was possible to lose your hand or your finger or your leg, I don't know. So the factory was very old, and was not modern one. And I think the cost would be too high to develop something new, produce it, make a new factory for it. It was simply too much. So there were like two reasons, I would say. So we are in a Eastern Germany relict, the Trabant. Trabant by Germans was called, the name for it was the Honecker's Revenge. So the Honecker was the leader of Communist Party in Eastern Germany, and this car was called the Revenge of Honecker. And here you can see a gift from Joseph Stalin to Warsaw, to Poland, the Palace of Culture, 30 floors high. It's here to remind that we were a part of the communist world, not the Western world. Inside it's a Trabant. It was a little bit redesigned, fitting new instruments, but overall it looks like the older brothers. So there is no much difference between this one and the 1.1 engine version. So the instrument panel is made of plastic, of course, like the whole car, and you can see those seats that look like they would come strictly from the 60s. Behind the driver there is some place to accommodate with this very characteristic part here for your armrest. It's an armrest. They also used to smoke like everyone back then, so if you would be a 12 years old smoking child, then it would be perfect for you, this place in the back.